What is poppin' YouTube? Doing my wide receiver tier ranking so you know who to start, who to sit this week for week 12 fantasy football. When we started off, we have Tyreek, Keenan Allen, and AJ Brown. And yes, Tyreek Hill, you're going to be starting him going up against the Jets. I don't care that Tyreek Hill is going up against Sauce Gardner. None of that matters to me with Tyreek Hill. He's been the best wide receiver this season in fantasy football. He's going to continue to be the best wide receiver in fantasy football this week. My next player in this tier is going to be Keenan Allen going up against the Baltimore Ravens. It's not the best matchup on Sunday night, but the thing is with Keenan Allen, if we've seen the last 2 weeks, he's had over 13 targets in both those weeks, and last week actually had 16 total targets. So Keenan Allen's absolutely a target hog. I mean, we've seen Quentin Johnson stink. They haven't really had any other wide receiver option besides Keenan Allen. So continue to start Keenan Allen with confidence. Have him here in our S tier. And then AJ Brown is our third wide receiver here in our S tier. And yes, AJ Brown, less than 3 fantasy points this week. Lost us a lot of games on Monday night versus the Chiefs. But the thing is, with the Eagles, it was just a bad weather game. I fully expect a bounce back game here versus the Bills this week. Now that is on Sunday afternoon. So hopefully the weather's just a little bit better, but I still think it's going to be a high enough scoring game that they're going to have to throw the ball. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, both those guys are going to eat. So I have AJ Brown here in our S tier. Then we move on to our A tier, and we have CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, and Puka Nacua. Starting off with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's been an absolute tear. And when you're on Thanksgiving Day, you just got done eating a bunch of turkey. Who do you want to watch play some football? You want to watch CeeDee Lamb play some football against the Washington Commanders. Great matchup here for CeeDee Lamb. Have him starting off this tier. You could have maybe made the argument that he should be in our A tier. I just don't think he has maybe the same type of upside as those guys, but he's been playing absolutely out of his mind here recently. So we like CeeDee Lamb here. Then we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, second Thanksgiving Day player going up against the Packers. Great matchup. Jack Harlow is going to be performing at halftime. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to get his sun god dance going. So we like Amon-Ra St. Brown here. Then we got Justin Jefferson. It felt like I had to put Justin Jefferson here, assuming that he plays. It's sounding more and more like he's going to play this week. But of course, if he's going to wait until after the bye, and do not start Justin Jefferson, we should get some more clarifications on that the rest of this week. Like I said, I'm recording this on Tuesday. It's coming out Tuesday night. So if you're watching this on Wednesday, maybe there is a little bit more clarification on what is happening with Justin Jefferson. We got Mike Evans, next guy here in the tier. Mike Evans has been an absolute tear. Buccaneers are playing the Colts. The Colts can't seem to stop anybody. The exciting part about Mike Evans is it continues to be his show. Chris Godwin, when he does have a good day, ends to still have Mike Evans still having a good day. Unlike years past where it was kind of one or the other, and you were just hoping that you picked the right one if you had both or if you just had the one. But this year, definitely Mike Evans has been the most consistent wide receiver here. So I have him here in the A tier. And then we move to our next guy. It's going to be Puka Nacua. And the reason I have Puka Nacua so high is because we saw what he did last week with Cooper Kupp dealing with that sprained ankle. Is Cooper Kupp going to give it a go against the Cardinals? They really don't need Cooper Kupp to get a win in this game. So for me, I lean Puka Nacua show. I like Puka Nacua here in the A tier. A lot of people are going to tell you, oh, the Cardinals defense. Like, I like Puka Nacua here in my A tier. Then we move to our B tier. We got Stephon Diggs, Brandon Ayuk, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams, Tank Dell, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Michael Pittman. Starting off with Stephon Diggs. You do like Stephon Diggs versus the Eagles. I mean, at some point, Stephon Diggs, he's going to have another breakout game. It's just a matter of time before Stephon Diggs does. It's been really unfortunate. Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid really handling a lot of that fantasy football workload last week. We need to see Stephon Diggs get back. That's why I'm starting off the B tier. I mean, but the talent is still there. Still going to be a top 4 wide receiver for us the rest of the season. Just need to see it happen. Brandon Ayuk, Mr. Come out of nowhere this season. 49ers are going up against the Seahawks. Great matchup here for Brandon Ayuk. We put Jamar Chase here, our B tier, and it just felt nasty to put him this low. But with Jake Browning against the Steelers, I don't know how many targets. I don't know what the target share is even going to look like for Jamar Chase. If it wasn't for the touchdown that ended up getting him 10 fantasy points last week, I just don't know where Jamar Chase would end up. So you got the upside, so you have to put him here, but at the same time, I would prefer some of these other options over Jamar Chase. If you have Jamar Chase, you're most likely having to start him because what else are you going to do? Jalen Waddle here, next guy in the tier. Also another major disappointment. You thought when Tyreek Hill went out with his injury that Jalen Waddle would be able to step up. That was not necessarily the case, but still the ultimate upside with this Dolphins offense. It's kind of the same thing when we talk about Devontae Smith later in this tier. When you have these 2 secondary wide receivers in offenses that are super elite, you almost just have to roll them out because you know that there's a chance that they have a major game, they have a major play, and all of it takes is one play for you to change your fantasy football day. So got Jalen Waddle here, then we got Devontae Adams here. Next guy in the tier. Him and Aiden seem to be getting along. Seems like the complaints that happened from Devontae right after Jimmy G was let go and Aiden started starting are a little bit behind. Devontae Adams had himself a very nice day for fantasy last week, going up against the Chiefs this week on Sunday afternoon. We like some Devontae Adams. They're going to have to throw the ball to stay in it. Tank Dell makes his emergence in the B tier. We haven't had Tank Dell ranked this high all season, but I mean, when the man produces week after week after week, you finally have to just say, man, I was wrong on Tank Dell and I had him way too low. So Tank Dell going up against the Jaguars. Definitely the clear wide receiver 1 now in the Houston Texans offense. I thought Nico Collins would come back, step in. Nope, no. It's to the Tank Dell show. Move on to Chris Olave, who's been grading a more target share each and every week. We like Chris Olave here. Devontae Smith, like I kind of said with AJ Brown, wide receiver 2 here, but with no Dallas Goedert with the Bills. Hopefully it's a little bit better weather game. Have him here. And then rounding out the B tier, we do have Michael Pittman Jr. The Colts are going up against the Buccaneers. Michael Pittman. A lot of people were upset where I ranked him last week. I had to kind of do some deep digging, look deep into the stats, and I said, hey, I was wrong on Michael Pittman as well. So we will have Michael Pittman here in our B tier. Moving on to our C tier, we got DJ Moore, Adam Thielen, Christian Kirk, Nico Collins, and DK Metcalf. DJ Moore finally got his buddy Justin Fields back last week, and boom, bada boom, made fireworks work. But this week, the Bears are going up against the Vikings. It's an in-division game, and if Justin Fields can do exactly what he did last week against the Lions, do that this week versus the Vikings, I like some DJ Moore this week. Then we put Adam Thielen here. Adam Thielen is still the main target for Bryce Young in this Carolina Panthers offense. It's been that way week after week after week. Panthers are going up against the Titans, and we just saw Titans not be able to stop any type of wide receivers. We just saw Calvin Ridley absolutely get going. So I think Adam Thielen has himself a very nice week this week. Then we move on to Christian Kirk. And yes, was it the Calvin Ridley show this last week? Yes, but I can't put Calvin Ridley back above Christian Kirk as much as I think Calvin Ridley rest of the season has a shot to produce better than Christian Kirk. I still think Christian Kirk is the best wide receiver option in this Jacksonville Jaguars offense going up against the Texans. It could end up being a shootout. So that's kind of what I determined. I put Christian Kirk right here. Then we move on to Nico Collins, who we did say has kind of relented to that wide receiver 2 since the injury, but still connected to CJ Stroud, connected to this elite level offense. It's crazy to be saying that about the Houston Texans offense. I have him here in our C tier. Then we round out our C tier with DK Metcalf. The Seahawks are going up against the 49ers on Thanksgiving Day. So another wide receiver you can go watch as you're eating some pie in the afternoon. We do like some DK Metcalf here. Yes, Tyler Lockett had himself a pretty good day last week as well. JSN has been picking up, but DK Metcalf, like him here in our C tier. Then we move on to our D tier. Cutler Sutton, DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Amari Cooper. Main thing, Amari Cooper still getting a pretty significant target share for the Browns, even though they did have DTR starting last week. Hollywood had himself quite a quiet day, but after seeing the way that Kyler Murray has been performing the last few weeks, we're excited about Hollywood. I still think that breakout game is about to come. DeAndre Hopkins with Will Levis, you got to put him here. The Tennessee Titans are going up against the Panthers. I think this should be a better matchup for DeAndre Hopkins, for Will Levis in this matchup. So I have DeAndre Hopkins here, and then Courtland Sutton. My goodness. The Courtland Sutton that we thought was going to happen, the last 2 seasons, this is kind of the Courtland Sutton we're finally seeing. Broncos versus Browns. Yes, the Browns defense has been good, but I think the Browns defense is really going to stop this run, forcing Russ to actually cook. And when he actually has to cook, who does he look for? He looks for Courtland Sutton. So we got Courtland Sutton, who's been on a hot streak here, leading off our D tier. Moving on to our E tier, we got Jordan Addison, Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, and Deebo Samuel. The thing was, Jordan Addison going up against the Bears, it's a good matchup. Josh Dobbs, it maybe wasn't as electric, especially I have Jordan Addison just here because if for some reason Justin Jefferson comes in place, Jordan Addison kind of gets relented down. Target shares, Justin Jefferson's still going to be the alpha if he's coming back healthy. Even if he's not 100% healthy, Jordan Addison's still going to be the number 2 in this offense. Maybe even number 3 behind TJ Hawkinson. But if for some reason Justin Jefferson isn't playing, I will move Jordan Addison up into my D tier, but just wanted to be transparent about that, where I have Jordan Addison. Garrett Wilson, we'll see. With no Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson could have a reemergence late into the season. Zach Wilson clearly has been the issue. I know they don't. Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, I don't know that those guys are going to get it done. Hey, you know what? Can't be worse than what we've been seeing with Zach Wilson. So have Garrett Wilson here in our E tier. Then we got Cooper Kupp here in the E tier. Of course, if Cooper Kupp plays, gets boosted up, but I just, at this point in the week, we don't know if he's going to be playing. So I have Cooper Kupp here in the E tier. And then rounding out our wide receiver rankings, we have some Deebo Samuel here for the 49ers. And like we said, the 49ers are going up against the Seahawks on Thanksgiving Day. I think the 49ers are going to give a show on Thanksgiving Day. So I like Deebo Samuel. It's just been hard. It's been hit and miss with Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk's the clear wide receiver 1. George Kittle's involved, and they just aren't getting Deebo Samuel the touches that we're kind of accustomed to. CMC really has been on an absolute tear, and a lot of those touches that we're accustomed to seeing Deebo get have been going to CMC. So let me know what you think of these rankings. Let me know what you're doing this week. Hope you guys are going to have a good Thanksgiving. So ask me any start or sit questions. We will not be streaming on Wednesday night as we will be traveling. I'm trying to get all the content in for you guys this week so that you guys can win some Week 12 matchups as we continue to pursue fantasy football championships. Check out these 2 videos if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.